Hello, loveliest Purple fam and all the beautiful people out there. Hey, it's your girl Simone RC. Now, during Black History Month, which thank you all so much for watching, I appreciate that. I started a Did You Know Prince Black History Facts on this channel. But while I was working on one of the shorts, something interesting happened. The more I researched this particular moment in Prince's history, the more I realized I couldn't really get it all explained in one short video. It needed more context. Prince released something incredibly unusual for its time, an interactive CD-ROM experience called the Love Symbol Interactive. And once you understand what this project actually was, you will start to see just how far ahead of his time Prince really was. But what most people don't realize is that this project became one of the most unusual experiments in Prince's entire career. And you will see exactly why we needed to expand it more beyond the point of a 2-minute and 30-second short. Especially, check out that's the shortened version of the script. Ooh. All right, y'all, let's break it down. We're gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna let you know all of the stuff from the original script that I had to peel from. In honor of Black History Month, we are celebrating Prince. Here is Black History Fact number 23 for Prince. On June 7th, 1994, Prince's birthday, Warner Brothers released Love Symbol Interactive, a groundbreaking CD-ROM video game developed by Graphic Zone and published by Compton's New Media. Players navigated a virtual 3D rendered Paisley Park Studios to find 5 pieces of Prince's love symbol. The game allowed fans to unlock exclusive songs, watch full videos like Endorphin Machine, and even enter a virtual club featuring legends like Miles Davis, George Clinton, Little Richard, and Eric Clapton discussing Prince's impact. For tech fans, the experience went even further. It included mini games like working digital mixing console where players could experiment with Prince's music. You could get glammed up by scrolling through his wardrobe and even have an opportunity to sing a karaoke version of his hits Kiss or Peach. The game became a major commercial success for its time, setting a record for the fastest pre-sale in CD-ROM game history with over 30,000 copies. But behind the scenes, things were complicated. The game created alongside the Gold Experience, which Warner Brothers delayed during one of the most turbulent periods of Prince's contract battle. Frustrated with the whole situation, he distanced himself from the project, later stating, "I had virtually nothing to do with it." Even so, Prince's vision remained embedded throughout the experience. Today, Love Symbol Interactive is out of print and difficult to run on modern systems, requiring legacy computers or emulators, but it's made itself a rare digital time capsule. And that is just one moment in Prince's Black history. Stay with me, there's more to discover. In honor of Black History Month, we are celebrating Prince. Here is Black History Fact number 23. That was for February 23rd. On June 7th, 1994, Prince's birthday, Warner Brothers released Love Symbol Interactive, a groundbreaking CD-ROM video game developed by Graphic Zone and published by... Okay, so... I had to put my glasses on, y'all. Sorry. Okay, so here was the detail that I really wanted to get in. All right, so Warner Brothers released it on Prince's birthday in 1994. Kind of shady because, you know, y'all, they were going through some drama. Now, it was released by Warner Brothers, published by Compton's New Media, and it was completely developed by Graphic Zone. And the reason why that it was unusual was because, you know, the internet wasn't mainstream, YouTube wasn't even existing back then, streaming wasn't a concept yet. CD-ROM technology was the cutting edge of multimedia back then. And Prince had always been fascinated by technology and visuals and immersive storytelling. You can see that from his music videos. And he just stepped into completely new territory. Players navigated a virtual 3D rendered Paisley Park Studios to find 5 pieces of Prince's Love Symbol. The game allowed fans to unlock exclusive songs, watch full videos like Fingerprint machine, and even enter a virtual club featuring legends like... Okay. Y'all see this is something else. All right, so it's supposed to be, when you go in, it's a 3D rendered version of Paisley Park Studios. Y'all, that looked like something out of a horror movie. That didn't look nothing like no Paisley Park. It looked like, you know, like the woods that you be like, you know, walking through and you're scared to death. No, it was not attractive. But for 1994, that was prolific. Now, the player explores the digital Paisley Park. I'd have been scared if it looked like that, and I went in there. I was like, nope, okay, never mind. All right, so they unlocked exclusive music. You could watch the full videos like Endorphin Machine, and even enter a surreal virtual nightclub environment. And I was just like, that looks really cool. That club looks really cool. And it was really neat to be able to see how in 1994 the detail that they had, because I remember playing video games in 1994 and the pixels were all messed up, and this has some quality to it, you know. Okay, let's go to the nightclub. Little Richard and Eric Clapton discussing Prince's impact. For tech fans, the experience went even further. Now that part was cool because they have it inside this nightclub. Players encountered appearances by the legendary musicians, including Miles Davis, George Clinton, Little Richard, and Eric Clapton, all discussing Prince's influences and his artistic impact. For the fans, in 1994, this was something entirely new. You weren't just simply listening to Prince's music, you were stepping into his creative universe. Now, remember, y'all, this is 1994. And he got all of these interviews, and it's all set up where you go in and you play the puzzle and you get to hear these interviews. This is pretty extraordinary. It's like working digital mixing console where players could experiment with Prince's music. You could get glammed up by scrolling through his wardrobe and even have an opportunity to sing a karaoke version of his hits, Kiss or Peach. The game became a major commercial. Wow. Now, what I had written down for the original script that I had to really butcher down, the interactive features, that I thought was very innovative. It had that opportunity to mix music, manipulate layers of Prince's music to explore how his sound is constructed. And you get to wander through the digital version of Prince's wardrobe. Now, I thought that was cool because I'm 6'1", full of fun. There's no way that I'd be able to get into any of his clothes, but that was fun to do. You can style yourself in some of his signature looks and in a playful touch. The game even includes a karaoke feature, allowing the players to sing along with songs like Kiss and Peach. This kind of multimedia interaction was incredibly ambitious for that time. Most artists in the 1990s were still focused on traditional album releases, and he was experimenting with interactive game fan experiences decades before they even came common in the music industry. Ready to go again. Setting a record for the fastest pre-sale in CD-ROM game history with over 30,000 copies. Okay, that's one of the things that I really needed to get out there. So, it's 1994. Interactive games are on CD-ROM. The development of this game has so much depth and quality to the visuals. And they tossed this out. Warner Brothers tossed it out. And commercially, this project actually performed surprisingly well. The Love Symbol Interactive set a record for the fastest pre-sale in CD-ROM game history, with more than 30,000 copies sold in its first week. Now, I know, in 2026, that's just like, well, okay, whatever. But you have to always keep going back to it that this is 1994. Just mind-boggling. For a multimedia experiment, this was a significant achievement. But behind the scenes, it is far more complicated story. Things were complicated. The game created alongside the Gold Experience, which Warner Brothers delayed during one of the most turbulent periods of Prince's contract battle. Frustrated with the whole situation, he distanced himself from the project, later stating, "I had virtually nothing to do with it." Even so, Prince's vision remained embedded throughout the experience. Today, Love Symbol... Wow! But, even with all the complications, Prince's creative fingerprint is truly all over this game, except the design on the outside of Paisley Park. I I'm not gonna let that go, y'all, because it was just like when we first opened it up, we were watching it, we were like, oh, what the hell is this? But that's okay. Layered music access, and this is going forward. But still, this is a era of his 90s that I had no clue about. So let's watch again. Is out of print and difficult to run on modern systems, requiring legacy computers or emulators. But it is. I remember having one of those. A rare digital time capsule. Oh, wow. Now, it's largely out of print. It's difficult to run on modern computers. Main thing that we saw was you can find it on eBay, but ooh, boy, it was expensive. And I think what you can do, you rely on legacy hardware or emulation software to access the original program. That's what I found. Okay, so historically, this only reveals more important value information about Prince. He wasn't just thinking about his albums or his singles. He was thinking about how the fans experience his music in entirely new ways. Decades before artists experimented with interactive apps, virtual concerts, immersive digital worlds, Prince was already exploring these ideas. Already had it. The tagline at the end of the video, the short, that did not become short. I wanted to put in 1994, Prince wasn't just releasing music. He was building an environment around it. Yeah, he was creating a full music environment. I'm blessed to be here to enjoy it. So, is just one moment in Prince's Black history. Stay with me. There's more to discover. I wanted that to work. But hey, stuff happens. And that's part of what continues to make Prince such a fascinating artist to study. I'm serious, y'all. I am studying everything that he's done in the 90s. And I lived through it, and I'm still picking up stuff. His creativity didn't stop at just sound. It extended through technology, visual storytelling, the way the fans could interact with his work. Love Symbol Interactive may have been released during a difficult moment in Prince's career, but it also stands as an early example of something artists are still exploring today. The idea that music can be experienced, explored, and interacted with, because when it comes to innovation, musically and visually and technologically, Prince was almost always ahead of his time. Now, did y'all have an opportunity to play Love Symbol Interactive back in the 90s? Or have you just discovered it recently, like me? So, if you enjoy discovering Prince history facts like this, make sure to subscribe, because we have much more coming every other Friday. So, we got more tracks, more facts, more Prince.